This is the painting I'm working on right now. And I need a brush. I need a brush because Sam the Raven, right in front of me, went into the bathroom, took my brushes, and then I heard him doing something. Then I looked up, he was real high up. And I'm like, ah, you motherfucker, you got my brushes. And as I was getting closer, he was speeding up as he was ripping the hairs out of my brushes. And then I'm like, Sam, drop it. So he drops it. He's already got them. No bristles, you know? Just ripped out all the hairs. It sucks. So I got to get a smaller brush because I need to do some detail work on Bigfoot here. That's Bigfoot. He's pulling it. He's pulling it. And as you see, that is me in the yard catching Bigfoot, stroking it. So I'm doing a painting of that. So everybody knows that they're a nasty. Well, they're not a nasty creature, but they're a mammal. And like bonobo chimps, they will do that. I saw it. I saw Bigfoot. He was stroking it. He was pulling his pud. As you can see, that's me pointing at him. Hey, cut that out. Knock that off. Put it back, Bigfoot. I got to go get some brushes. This is really coming along, though. Notice his giant big feet? That's why they're called Bigfoot, is because they have really big feet. See, that's me pointing. Look, it's Bigfoot. Knock that off, Bigfoot. Put it back. It's Bigfoot stroking it. Notice his really big feet. They have really big feet. But I have to go into his fur, you know, and also my hair and my eyeballs. I got no eyeballs because I don't have the proper brush. Also, I was thinking about getting a fan brush and putting in some trees back there, by the mountains behind the barn. So I need a small brush, and I need a I think I want to buy a fan brush too. Look at my barn. My barn isn't red, but I'm thinking of making my barn red. I don't know why I didn't do a traditional red barn. I started staining it. I got the front done, and I got one of the sides done, maybe, I think. But I think what I'm doing is red, so that's why I made my barn red. Knock it off, Bigfoot. Knock it off, dude. I quit drinking caffeine 3 weeks ago, and I do feel better. And if you're trying to do this, I've tried to do it before, and you can get a real bad headache. Now, when I quit, I didn't feel so good. So I was just drinking water, except each day I had about a cup of tea, and I didn't have that all at once. I had like half in the morning and half later, and I really didn't have any headache. The first 2 weeks were a breeze. That was not a problem. The other day, yesterday and the day before, I kept thinking about, I kind of miss caffeine. You know, I want the delicious caffeine. I didn't buckle under pressure, but I did notice that I kept thinking of it, sort of like how I would think about drinking booze. Like, I haven't had booze in over 20 years, but like how I would sort of flip into that right at the beginning, like sort of think about it in a nostalgic way. Like, boy, that caffeine sure is delicious. Now, as far as like how much was I drinking? I was drinking 3 of the large big leaf, so about a gallon a day. I don't know how much that is, but 3 of those of black tea. I'd also, if I had a delicious Red Bull around, I'd chug that down in the morning right when I got up, just to, give me that extra punch. I don't notice that it's really that helpful now that I'm away from it. I don't really feel like caffeine was doing that much for me. It seems sort of like a lie. It seems for me that caffeine doesn't really affect me that much. In other words, I could drink whatever and go to sleep. That's never been a problem for me. But I can't imagine having that chemical in you just constantly being good. So that's why I'm off of it. Water, you know? That's what I kept thinking, like, I drink a lot of fluid, yes. That's good. But why am I drinking all this fluid that has caffeine in it? So now I drink a lot of water. I'm saving money out the ass. This is the truth. I'll just go drink right out of the tap in my bathroom. I'm saving so much money. Red Bull, $3. You get 2 of them, that's $6. Then you could get that Pure Leaf real cheap. So say I buy 3 of those a day, or let's just say 2. You can get those on sale for $5. So that's $11 a day just in caffeine or drinks, when I could save that $11. So I was looking at $300 a month in just drinks. That just seems absurd. But that's what I was doing. No more. On Facebook, and somebody's posting a litter of puppies that they had, like a live video. I'm like, I don't want to see this. This just bums me out. It's like, they're puppies, they're cute, but they're just mutts. You know, it just looks like mud puppies. I get bummed out when I see some 30-year-old dog trainer posting a picture of their Malinois that they bred. Like, as if their dog is so great that they need to start breeding it. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's people that are breeding Malinois that know what they're doing. What, you gotta see the miracle of life? You sound so stupid. Don't. If you want a puppy, go get a puppy. There are plenty of them. Just don't go to a pet store. Those puppies at pet stores are puppy mill dogs, and you're gonna pay the price that you would have paid if you would have just gone to a breeder and got a good dog. Don't ever buy a dog from a pet store. Many of those times you'll get those dogs, they're 8 weeks old, they're already fixed. That's totally unhealthy for your dog. It's just ridiculous. Do some research. Don't, oh look, I'm walking by a store. Oh, the dog's, yeah, it's adorable, sure. It was also bred probably in Pennsylvania or Florida or Missouri, or Ohio, and it's probably a puppy mill dog. This place has like suits and stuff. I almost bought an Armani suit a few months back. I was gonna put it on eBay. They have stuff like that, like Hugo Boss, Armani, real expensive stuff, but I don't want to start selling shit on eBay again. You know, and I didn't sell that. Well, I would, when I was doing it, I would sell anything. I would have sold that, but I wouldn't. That really wouldn't be my deal. It'd be like antiques and shit like that. And I don't want to do that anymore. One great thing about Brooklyn is that there's an art supply store 2 blocks from my house. If I'm in Beaver Dams, there's no art supply store. Maybe in Ithaca. There's not one close by. Walmart. But you can't get good brushes at Walmart. And I need a 0 or a 1. I need something real small. These freaking brushes are expensive. This is why I don't buy expensive ones. Because if Sam gets them, and also I'll leave them sitting around in water. There's no way. Some of them are like $100 and shit. I'm not doing that for sure. I hate spending money on this shit. I have brushes in my hand, but I'm putting them back because I found the cheap ones. There's no way. I don't want to pay $6 for a brush when I can buy 3. I can buy 3 for $3. No way. Unusual for me to paint. It is. I haven't painted in years. Well, I've painted stuff, but not. I'm going to paint on a board. That's what I'm doing. I'm painting on boards or canvas. I haven't done it in a long time. It's easy. It's relaxing. I have to document my Bigfoot experiences some way. I didn't have a camera with me. If I would have had a camera, I would have taken video of Bigfoot jerking it and then, you know, National Geographic would be knocking at my door. So what's the next best thing? So I'll draw a picture of it, just so everybody can see the glorious Bigfoot. He's chronic with that. He just doesn't quit. They pull it. They're like bonobos. When it all comes out, you're gonna find out that what I'm telling everyone is true. I'm hungry. I have a choice of this place, steamer tray food, or the place next door that's the same thing. It's all bad. It's all nasty. I guess I'll go on this one. No, none of it looks good, but I gotta eat, and I'm sort of too tired to cook. So I'm gonna try this one next door and see if their food looks any better. They got some ribs in here. I might get the ribs. None of it looks real good, but getting the fish stew. How could it be bad? I like Puerto Rican cuisine or Dominican. I like them. They do a real good pork, but I just get tired of it, and that's sort of all we have in this neighborhood. That's it. Or Little Caesars or Domino's. Even if there was, well, we do have a Popeyes down there. If there was even more of that, there's just not. There's fucking nothing in this neighborhood, which sucks. And I had to change my phone number, right? So Grubhub's not working. I could do that, but Grubhub's not working on my phone because that number doesn't work anymore. I don't have that number anymore. I had to change it. There's no way. There's no way that number's going out in the public anymore. Put up with that for about 1.5 years. It's just ridiculous, childish nonsense. I guess this afternoon that's what I'll do, is get Grubhub so it works on this phone. There's sushi that I could call and have sushi sent over here. And this is Brooklyn. There's places that are real good, but they're a mile in every direction. There's nothing here. I mean, nothing. If someone was smart, they'd buy that building which it's been sitting vacant for 15 years and put a restaurant in there, like a good one. Not some shit. Like they had a place down here that it was soul food. And when it went in, I was all excited. Every time you went in there, same thing, steamer trays. The place smelled. You know, they had pig's feet occasionally, which was great. But you eat there 3 times, I'm sick of it. Painting's coming along. It's not totally finished, but it's starting to shape up. I put some clouds back here, some more detail on Bigfoot's face. That's me. I gotta work a little bit more on that, but it's really coming together. It looks sweet. This is for sale. You could buy this, but if you have to ask how much, you probably can't afford it. But you know, one thing that you could do is you could buy this on a shirt or on a mug, and then you could own a Peter Caine. Think about it. That's Bigfoot. He's pulling his pud. Look. What's that? One other thing. Do not let your dog play fight. Take it to a dog run. You don't want to do that. That's a huge mistake. That body language of your dog play fighting where its front legs are up, that's the same body language as a fight. They're practicing for a fight. You start taking that young dog to a dog run, it's going to learn how to fight. And once they learn how to fight, they like it. So don't listen to people that tell you that this is good. If you have friends that have a dog, don't take your dog over there and have them running around the backyard play fighting. It's about obedience from here on out. Your dog's social skills it learned in the third, fourth, and fifth week. That's it. That's all they get. After that, it becomes obedience. That's why they also split dogs up in the 8th week, because those dogs that stay in litters longer, they have terrible social skills. They're always trying to play fight and everything. Listen to me. Don't listen to anybody else that tells you anything different, okay? Do not do that with your dog. Your dog should be compliant, and it should be listening to you. And you take it around other dogs, they all need to be compliant too. See, it's really starting to come together now. I have to work on my barn a little bit. Bigfoot's face is starting to come along. Gotta work on the jizz spot maybe a little bit. Or whatever that is. I don't know what that is. My shirt I need to work on a little bit more. I posted something about the voter fraud case in North Carolina and the Republican Party. It's just absurd that we have a president that's screaming about voter fraud. Yeah, we have a Republican that is clearly tangled up in a voter fraud case in North Carolina. So I post something to that effect. Like, you know, it sure is weird that all we hear about is voter fraud from our president, and then there's a Republican that is clearly, you know, they're going to have to run this election again, and somebody's going to go to jail. There's an investigation going on. Somebody post underneath that comment on Facebook, this is on Peter Caine dog training page, and says, I legitimately don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? And I said, this is the truth. I said, it's all over the news. How could you not miss it? I guess you don't watch the news, do you? He said, no, I don't. I don't trust the news because it's all fake. Yeah, because that's what Trump tells you. So you listen to Trump, that it's all just fake news. No, it's news, it's real, and it's based on facts. Yet he wants to get his news from somebody on Facebook. So you're going to believe everything that I say? Why don't you read the damn article? We have a real problem, and it's that people don't want to know anything about it. They just want to believe what somebody tells them. And what somebody's telling them is it's fake news. Oh, yeah, the Washington Post, the New York Times, NBC, CBS, ABC, CNN, it's all fake news. But Trump says that Fox isn't fake news. Okay, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? And now we have a Republican that's clearly getting busted for this. What's the matter with you people? This is our fucking country. It's our fucking... You did us no favor by voting Trump into office. You did us no favors. As a Republican, I was appalled that after the Access Hollywood tape, that they didn't say, okay, we can't use you, we're going to use Pence. That's what they should have done, and I think Pence was thinking of doing that. Now, I'm not a big Pence fan, for sure. I might be Republican, but I also have views that would slant towards liberal, sort of, or more moderate, meaning I think that abortion is an unnecessary evil. I think it's ridiculous to take that to the back rooms again. That's just something that needs to take place. You know, I'm sorry. I talk about hypocrites too. There's probably a lot of hypocrites that say no abortion, but when it comes right down to it, everyone can own a Peter Caine. Just buy the shirt of Bigfoot pulling his pud. It's going to be on a shirt, maybe a mug, something like that. Notice the detail on the beast face. That's what they look like, something like that. They're like large trolls with big feet, and they're real hairy, like a bear. See the big feet? That's why they call them Bigfoot. Look at my cherry tree. It's a cherry tree. That's a pawpaw tree, and that's a plum. That's a blue plum. Now I'm thinking about drawing one of my dogs in here. I think I'm going to. I might not. I haven't decided. Notice the tree line? Look at how realistic that is. And the mountains in the background? Oh yeah. Just like they have down in Arizona. This will be tough for some people to hear, but I do sort of see dog owners that have pedigree dogs as better owners. And it's a generalization, but let me explain why I make this generalization. One, I've never been contacted by anybody that says, I'm going to go to a shelter, I'm going to get a puppy, and then I want you to train it. I've never had that happen. It's always like a purebred. So the person's making an investment with the dog by having me train it. That's totally logical. Or even at a very minimum, I can't remember the last time somebody, no one, again, that owns a mixed breed, ever said, I'm going to go to the shelter, adopt a dog, and then I want to do a Skype session with you. I've had people that have done Skype sessions with me that are getting puppies, and they're buying the puppy, they're buying a purebred puppy, and they want to have all their ducks in a row. That I have happened all the time. I'm sorry, that's just how it appears, that the person with the mixed breed dog, training isn't really the most important thing. It isn't. They want to have a dog, but generally speaking, the dog's fine as long as it's not like biting people, and then they'll contact you, or it's fine as long as it's not fighting with other dogs. It's just such bullshit, but this is a generalization. I mean, I have mixed breed dogs, of course. I'm just, sort of stating a fact that if somebody spends $3,000 getting a dog at a breeder, a $3,000 dog at a breeder, they know they have this investment on the dog that costs money, and they don't want it to go south, and they understand that training is like a very important part of owning a dog, because if the dog's not trained, it just thinks instinctually. It doesn't really think, it just responds instinctually. It responds instinctually and with trained commands. So all the instinctual stuff that your dog does, a lot of that is really bad stuff. They don't think, they just respond. In other words, if your dog's in a fight and you're pulling your dog off another dog, you might get bit because your dog doesn't think. It just responds, oh, I'm trying to kick ass, and it goes and bites the owner, and then the owner's all flipped out like, oh, I got bit. Yeah, that'll happen. That'll happen. It doesn't mean that the dog doesn't love you, because the dog never loved you to begin with. It can like you a whole lot, but love is a complex human emotion, and us as humans, we're always trying to find patterns in things and trying to make everything else like us, and that's just not the case. It's not. They don't experience human emotions. You're confused. You're seeing something else. You're seeing either an excited dog or a dog that likes you, but it can't love you. Human emotions don't exist. It's like jealousy. People think that there's no jealousy in the dog world. That's probably more related to like a resource, That's my resource, get away from it. It's not how you think. And I know that this really sounds tough, but that is pretty much the truth. And if you ask any dog trainer, they'll tell you the same thing too. That the person that gives the adoption fee of a couple $100 is way less apt to say, okay, so I adopted a dog, it's only worth $200, I'm going to spend thousands of dollars getting it trained. That's what should be taking place. It is, but people don't do that. They look at the dog that is from the animal shelter or whatever as not worth the investment. There's a lot of strange things about it too. Like as a dog trainer, if I have my option of having a dog that is not fixed or fixed, I'll always go with the dog that's not fixed for the most obvious reasons, that dogs fall apart that are fixed. This is a medical fact. University of California, Davis has done a lot of studies on this, and so have other places too. So that I'm not saying that I don't adopt dogs that are fixed. I got Brew. I got stuck with Brew, Mango. I do. But I'm just saying, if I want a dog and I'm going to do a specific task, or I want it to be athletic, and healthier, I'm not going to get it fixed. It's just, don't shoot the messenger. I know this bums people out too. And the person that thinks that it really doesn't matter. Oh, yes, it does. It matters, a huge amount to your dog's health if it's fixed or not fixed. The dogs that are fixed, more incidences of cancer, more incidence of joint disease, a wide variety of health issues. So that's scientific fact. So don't write under this, you're wrong. I'm not. I'm right, or else I wouldn't be saying it. And I'm also right about owners that spend money on their dogs. They buy a dog. They look, they take the time. They're looking for a specific breed. That's not the same thing as the person that gets on the internet looking for the cute dog, because that owner doesn't care about anything other than cuteness. And that is a recipe for disaster. That's all they care about, is something cute to get their oxytocin surge. Like, oh, it's so cute. You don't even know the dog, and because of its picture, you're adopting it. So are the owners that buy dogs smarter than the owners that are going to adopt a dog from seeing a picture on the internet? No, but this owner's more realistic. I know people that are smart that are like so unrealistic with dogs, it's not even funny, and terrible with dogs. But then again, if I run across an owner that's into dogs and there's like this will to be like a good owner, and they happen to be smart too, boy, that makes the best owner. It does. It makes the best owner. It's people that are disciplined that make the best owners. That's the truth. The undisciplined person, no, they don't make such good owners. They don't. They want to use wee-wee pads and stuff like that instead of training and treating the dog proper. They want the easy way. They want the cheap way. They think it doesn't matter. They think that it doesn't matter what kind of leash the dog uses. You use with the dog, like it should be a leather leash. Everybody should be using a 6-foot leather leash. There's a reason for that, or I wouldn't be saying it. It's nonsense. It is a truth. It is a generalization. You don't have to put something down there. I only adopt and they're blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I've been around dogs longer than you, and I've seen a lot more dogs than you. So I'm happy that you're a great owner. If you're that insecure that you have to say that down there, I don't believe you anyway. So keep it to yourself. I'm all for adopting animals that are fixed from shelters. I own a couple. I always have an animal that is like that. I always do. A dog. I always adopt a dog that has been fixed and doesn't have a home. So don't start giving me shit about my pedigrees either, because each time I've gotten a dog that's a pedigree, I do a specific task with them. If you don't need some kind of dog like that, if you don't need a hunting dog, or you want to, in other words, like you might be able to find a good Frisbee dog at an animal shelter. That's the truth. You can find a good Frisbee dog at an animal shelter. Pit mix, yeah, they could be great at Frisbee. That's the truth. I have two. One of them's fixed, one of them's not. The one that isn't fixed is fairly good. He's fairly good. But if you want a dog that hunts, or you want specific traits, breeding, you get what you pay for. I get this email from this person in Saudi Arabia, and they want to know about dog training via Skype. They have a Shiba, and can I instruct them on how to train the dog through Skype? No, I can't. That's ridiculous. Skype, it's a Shiba, first of all, which is not really a dog for a novice, and then all these people that know nothing about dogs get Shibas. Sort of a stubborn dog. So it's a Shiba. This person knows nothing about dogs, or else they wouldn't be contacting me. And there's like this thing, not just in that country, but in society in general, that there's like this unrealistic expectation. And also that if you talk to a dog trainer, that the magic wand is going to work for your dog, and it doesn't. I stopped doing it. I had a friend contact me recently. I've known her for years. When I had a pet service, I deal with her dog. But, I don't, what am I going to say? Like, I told her, I said, no, like, what's there to talk about, really? There's nothing for me to talk about. She had a dog. She got a collar conditioned by someone else. This was years ago. So that person worked with her. Why am I going to, she already learned it I can't talk on the phone like this. Tell somebody how to do something. That does not fucking work. She already has her ideas, What, how am I going to, It doesn't work that way. I told the person, the Saudi person, I told them, 10 grand, I hold your dog for 2 months and train it everything, and then you have to come into town for a few days. That's what I told them. I was like, fuck it. Like, I'm trying to be realistic. I said, even I didn't even ask how old the dog is. I'm assuming that it's an adult. I should have asked how old the dog is, but I'm like, you're going to be way over there. I want as much conditioning done as possible because I don't want, I want the dog to be really as conditioned as possible so that when the person got the dog home, there isn't any problems, at least as far as like, there's no question that the dog did something repetitiously over and over and over again. 2 weeks wouldn't cut it, It's just people are unrealistic. The person that I know from when I had a pet service is unrealistic. Like, I don't know if she sees this. I don't care, but it's the truth. It's like, there's no magic wand. You better knock that off, son. There's no magic wand. And communicating with the dog trainer isn't going to really, that's somebody taking your money and you sort of trying to make yourself feel better. And I don't do it anymore. There were days where, times when I'd be going over to somebody's house. No, actually, no. I was going to say about a puppy. It is beneficial to talk to somebody about a puppy. That can be very, very beneficial as far as Skype goes. But you can't do much training as far as that goes. You can, I can talk about raw diet and things don't do when you have a puppy. Don't put the puppy in your lap, blah, blah, blah. Stuff like that. But, don't let the puppy start jumping on you. Crap like that. But to teach somebody how to do commands with a dog, and you can't even, like, here's an example. I was teaching this basketball player. He's an athlete. He couldn't hold the leash right. We went over the leash for like a day and a half. He kept, finally on the second day, he's holding it right. I'm telling you, it isn't how you think it is. It's a lot of repetition, and when you're learning something from the dog trainer has to be able to interact with you. You can't do it like this. You're fooling yourself, and it's a huge problem. It's absolutely a huge problem. We have 4 million dogs dying every year. We got people getting dogs. I'll see people that get a puppy, and I'll see them on the street with the damn puppy, and I'm like, oh fuck, that is not going to go well. It's just, the family with the kids, and then the owner, like the owner thinks that the kids are supposed to take care of the dog and shit. Okay, you're insane. That doesn't work. The kids want the dog. It's your dog. You need to take care of it. Luna's mom. There you go. That's a good example of somebody that's not stupid. But I mean, there's like, unrealistic expectations. How many times do you see on Facebook or something that kids rolling all over the dog or getting the dog excited? And god damn, remember, an excited dog is the worst kind of dog, because that's when they bark, lunge, bite, or just don't listen. You have to get them trained past that point of excitement is what you have to do. Yeah, use excitement to train a dog, sure, but they're trained. Dogs function instinctually and with conditioned commands. You had to get those conditioned commands in there, else your dog's functioning instinctually and jumping around excited, that's when they fucking bite. I just, you know, these emails I get from these people, it's just like, I'll do Skype with somebody if it's on, you know, raw diet. That makes sense. Or somebody's getting a puppy. Yeah, that makes sense. And tell you, you know, don't buy wee-wee pads like that. Don't buy wee-wee pads. They're scented with a pheromone that smells like shit and piss to the dog. You bring that in, you're telling the dog to shit and piss in your house. Get up and take your dog outside. You wanted the puppy, start taking it out, or pay somebody like me to get the dog out so that it's getting housebroken. Everyone can own a Peter Caine. Just buy the shirt of Bigfoot pulling his pud. I put my dog Tonka in there. That's of course me. I'm still working on me. I got to make the shirt a little bit more plaid. There's Ike, of course. And of course the glorious Bigfoot. There he is in all his fucking glory, and he's pulling his pud. He's jerking it. That's Bigfoot jerking it. Check out my barn. It looks more like the mountains in New Mexico than upstate New York, but it works. I might be putting a like a UFO back there. I'm not sure. I'm kind of holding off. I might just do a separate painting about that. Look at that.